Hello, and allow me to extend a warm welcome to all to the 2023 Health Center Workforce Summit. We're so glad to have you with us. My name is Gerard Jolly. I am the Director of Career Advancement Strategies with the National Association of Community Health Centers. And we're proud to bring you this event in collaboration with our partners at the Moses Weissman Health System and the Association of Clinicians for the Underserved. Two of my colleagues are joining me from the planning team to extend a warm welcome to you as well. So let me turn it over to them to introduce themselves.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Excited for the next 2 days. My name is Amanda Shizzle. I'm Deputy Chief Operating Officer of the Moses Weissman Health System and Project Director and co-PI of our NTAP on clinical workforce development. I'm going to leave it to Margaret Flinter later when she gives an overview, but I am thrilled to be here today. Go ahead, Suzanne.
Hi, everyone. My name is Suzanne Spear. I'm the Senior Director of Workforce Development at the Association of Clinicians for the Underserved, otherwise known as ACU. And I'm here representing our STAR Center, which is our National Training and Technical Assistance Partner Cooperative Agreement through the Bureau of Primary Health Care. And just excited to be here and learn from everyone. And you'll see more of me from me later. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Amanda and Suzanne. So why are we here today and what are we hoping to accomplish? I'm sure you all know better than most that whenever we ask the question, what are the major challenges that you're facing? The top two issues that come up are funding and workforce. And usually workforce is a function, or funding is a function of the need to continue to support a thriving workforce. What we hope to accomplish today, the goal of this summit is to bring you together, all of you from across the health center sector, to highlight the great work that you're doing in the field, both you and your partners, and hopefully to provide some tips that you can apply to help address some of the workforce needs and challenges that you're facing at the local and regional and state levels. In order to do that, what we hope to that you'll be able to do at the end of this summit is to understand and describe how to develop a coaching culture, that culture that ensures equity and inclusion for your workforce that reflects the populations that you serve. That you'll be able to be strengthened in your efforts to nurture and build partnerships and pathways for the professional development of your workforce, and that you will be able to continue to identify, create, and advance those opportunities to promote an environment that supports and sustains workforce wellness for your health center staff. So we're excited to be able to be with you today and look forward to accomplishing those goals and objectives with you. Our next slide, please. This summit would not be possible if it were not for the hard work of so many individuals behind the scenes. And so we want to ask you if you would recognize the individuals who served on our National Advisory Group. They provided guidance and support and encouragement to those of us on the planning team. And this event would not have been possible without them. So as you see these individuals over the course of the next day or two, or in the coming weeks, if there's just even one thing that you like about this summit, we ask you to take a moment to express your appreciation to them. And we have some on the next slide as well. And you can find all of these individuals on page 2 of your program. So we just want to express appreciation for the National Advisory Group. And we also have some other partners that we want to thank. And I'll turn it to, I believe, Amanda to
Yes. As 3 NTAP awardees, we are funded by our federal partners at the Health Resources and Services Administration, and we thank them for their support and our ability to be here today with you all. You'll learn more about our NTAPs a little bit later when you hear from our leaders, but this is supported through that funding, as you see here, and the contents are those of the authors and do not necessarily represent the views of that department, but we thank them for their support and the ability to continue to do this incredible work. And I am excited that we get the space to be able to learn from each other, such as today's events. And thank you to Gerard and to ACU and NAC for your collaboration across that funding.
As Gerard and Amanda both highlighted, there are a lot of folks that went into planning actually the next 2 days rather. And so we just wanted to recognize folks from the planning committee made up of staffers from ACU, Community Health Center Inc. and Moses Weitzman Health System, as well as the National Association of Community Health Centers. So you will see a lot of us in the next couple of days, but we just wanted to make sure that we recognize those folks as well. So thank you to everyone that went into the planning of this event.
We're always happy to have senior leaders from our organizations join us for the Workforce Summit and extend greetings on behalf of each of our organizations. Unfortunately, Gina Capper, who's the Senior Vice President for Training and Technical Assistance for NAC, had an unexpected conflict and wasn't able to join us today. So she asked that I express some greetings on her behalf. She states, "I bring greetings and welcome from the senior leadership team of the National Association of Community Health Centers. Specifically, our Senior Vice President for Training and Technical Assistance, Gina Capper, sends her regards and appreciation to all of you who are here today and work daily supporting the delivery of high quality, accessible, culturally and linguistically competent care to our over 30 million health center patients across the country through 1,500 community health center organizations, or 1,400 community health center organizations. Together, our nationwide health center family is stronger than ever before. Our NAC team is pleased to work closely with training partners like the Association of Clinicians for the Underserved and the Moses Weitzman Health System to ensure you are receiving the professional development and learning opportunities you need to be even better and more successful at the work you do. There's been months of planning put into this week's Workforce Summit. Our planning group has consisted of representatives from national training organizations like NAC, from health centers, primary care associations, and health center controlled networks around the country who have specific expertise in health center workforce strategies. And our planning group has also included representatives from HRSA. We are grateful for the time, the energy, and effort they gave over many months to prepare what we hope is an inspiring and practical Workforce Summit agenda that you will enjoy and learn from. This summit is a time for you to invest in you. That means please minimize as many disruptions as possible. Resist the urge to multitask. We know that's a difficult task these days. And soak in the promising practices being shared and fully engaged in the virtual peer-to-peer chat and discussions that will be facilitated. This is your time to invest in yourself. This is your time to connect to your National Health Center family. Thank you for being or supporting our health center heroes. Let's keep up the great work and remember we are in this together. And now I'll turn it over to my colleague, Amanda, to introduce our senior leader from the Moses Weitzman Health System.
Unfortunately, we're at our limit, and I'm assuming it's some sort of Zoom issue, which I know the team is working diligent to resolve. Margaret dropped, and so she can't come back in. So I'm actually going to ask that we have her do an introduction later. I think it's important that we hear from her, and I hope that we can resolve the issue. So anyone amendable to it, once we have more direction, I think it'll be important. But I'll hand it over to Suzanne and Amanda to do their introduction.
Hi, yes, so I am pleased and excited to introduce my boss, the Executive Director of ACU, Amanda Pierce-Kelly. Amanda, take it away.
Thanks so much, Suzanne. I just want to start by giving everyone a round of applause that contributed to the planning and putting together the incredible program that I know is ahead of us the rest of today and tomorrow. It really is amazing to see the collaboration that comes from across the National Association of Community Health Centers, ACU, and the Moses Weitzman Health System. It's the best of the best, I will say that. And all of you are a part of that as well. And so just really thrilled to see so many of you, and I know we have many others that are eager to join, and so we'll get that squared away. One of the things that we wanted to start with, or that I wanted to start with, was just why are we here and why is access so important, and what role does workforce play in that, and who is ACU? What does it all mean? I think where I would start is that ACU, the Association of Clinicians for the Underserved, access is core to everything. And workforce is really core to access. You literally cannot have access to care if you don't have workforce. And so everything that we talk about, all of our work really hinges on that. We're very fortunate at ACU to have a bureau grant to support clinical workforce recruitment, retention, wellness, resiliency, all of these things. But I think, at least in my time, having the privilege to work with the Star Center team and with many others in the workforce space, it's bigger than just the clinical space. Healthcare workforce really spans everyone and everything. And to Gerard's point earlier, I don't think, certainly not a week, but sometimes it's not even a day that goes by that I don't talk with a health center who says, workforce is the #1 challenge. And where it used to be just clinical workforce recruitment and retention, now it is every corner. Now it is phone, intake staff, it's call center staff, it's IT, it's operations, it's outreach, it's literally everyone, every part of the equation. And so the work that we do at ACU, and I think I hate to speak for our partners, but I think the work that we all do is to support health centers and all of you to ensure that you have every resource possible to be able to fulfill the work that you're doing, to fulfill that mission, to care for as many people as you can, and to fulfill that mission of access. And so ACU has a 27-year history of this work. And in our 3rd iteration of that bureau grant that I mentioned, but it really does take the team that you see here today. And so just thrilled to have everyone together to learn from each other, and just immense gratitude to all of you who are doing this on the ground, who are serving your health centers, who are serving your primary care associations, who are doing the hard work every single day, and having to wrap your arms around the challenges that exist in the workforce space. So the program today is going to offer amazing programming and solutions, but I think it will also provide an opportunity for conversation and discussion to come up with new ideas and imagine new solutions. So I'm so grateful to be a part of that. I'm very, very proud of our Star Center team. I will just give a little note that the Star Center is going to be pushing out our data profiles coming up pretty soon. And so keep an eye out for that. It can be an enormously helpful resource to each and every health center, and the PCAs have a role to play in that as well. And many new publications coming out, not just from ACU, but I suspect across the board. So in addition to the conversation you'll have today and the programming you'll get the next day or two, incredible resources coming your way soon. So thank you so much, everybody. Bravo and kudos to the team for putting together such a fantastic program, and look forward to the conversation. And I'll turn it back to Gerard, I think.
Thank you very much, Amanda. Is Margaret able to join? Has she been able to log back on?
If she's in the waiting room, if we are able to add her in, hopefully we should be good. And then we'll fix the limit before the keynote. We're working on getting a new link. We're going to email it out in registration. Gerard will tell you when to rejoin. So we apologize for that. And we can just keep going.
Yeah, let's have greetings from Margaret, and then we'll give you some instruction. Can we bring Margaret back in?
I think we should keep going through the slides, and then when she joins on, we can pop back over to her.
All right, sounds good. Let's move on to our next aspect on our agenda. Our agenda at a glance, day 1, and I think Suzanne. Oh no, Megan. Actually, Megan is covering this for us. Megan Angers.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Megan.
Yeah. On the agenda for day 1, we have our wonderful HRSA administrators delivering the keynote on the ever-evolving health center workforce landscape, including current challenges, opportunities, and trends in healthcare setting. Following the keynote presentation, we'll hear from the Massachusetts League of Community Health Centers and Massachusetts General Hospital to present on their collaborative HRSA-funded Be Well Together initiative, which is super exciting. And then after that, we'll have some time to connect with all of you, with your peers on these fantastic presentations and breakout groups. And then following that, we'll conclude our day with a panel on pathways and partnerships, as well as a health center spotlight focusing on integrating justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion principles into their coaching and mentoring culture to foster an inclusive and equitable environment. For day 2, we'll have a keynote presentation from April Lewis on how to manage your time and energy efficiently in the workplace. Following the keynote presentation, we'll have a presentation from Gary Campbell from Johnson Health Center to discuss creating a coaching culture. Similar to the day 1 structure, we'll then go into breakout groups to discuss these presentations, and we'll wrap up our day with a panel on coaching culture and conclude this 2-day workforce summit with a large group discussion. Great, and as for some housekeeping considerations on Zoom etiquette and troubleshooting, for your technology, please check your Wi-Fi. For your microphones, please be courteous and keep yourself on mute, especially if you're not speaking. If you need tech help, you can, we have a designated tech help right now. It's Mariah Blake. We are recording, so please be respectful of all that you put in the chat box. It will be recorded, and we do have scheduled breaks throughout the summit. So like Gerard said, try to limit your multitasking to be present in this moment, and we do have those breaks built in so you can check your emails and so forth. Additional to housekeeping, we're using the Whitesman education platform, as you are all familiar with. I'll put the link for that in the chat. I know I also sent it out this morning, but that's how you'll be claiming your CEU credits. And I can go through that more so at the end of the day as well. And then finally, our final housekeeping technology consideration is our Mentimeter. We'll be using this throughout the Workforce Summit to launch polls and interact with one another. And our first one is a word cloud on what motivated you to attend the 2023 Workforce Summit. I'm going to go ahead and put that link in the chat, but I already see a few of you joining, which is fantastic. And if you haven't used this before, you can either click on the link in the chat and do it on your computer, or you can scan the QR code with your phone, or you can go to menti.com and enter in the code, which is 25991916. I'll put that in the chat as well. So 3 different ways you can join us.
Megan, I will stop sharing now and pass it over to you.
Thank you. Awesome. And everyone on their screen should be able to see this question. What motivated you to attend the 2023 Workforce Summit? And feel free to enter in a few different words. Thank you all for responding. This looks great.
Gorgeous. All right, well, we're all enjoying this beautiful word cloud. We want to make sure that all of our friends can join us for the keynote. So Megan is quickly working with our team. We have a new link that we believe has a 300-person limit for the meeting. So she's going to email it out to everyone who is registered and replace that old link with the new link so that all of our friends can join us.
Great. So we're gonna take a pause at this particular time, and we'll ask everyone if you would re-log on using the new link, and it's also being emailed out to you. We'll rejoin in, I guess, in about 8 minutes. That's 12:30 Eastern time, which is 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. Thank you for your patience, and thank you for your flexibility as we work through this challenge. I'm sure you've experienced something like this before. So thank you again for your patience and your flexibility. With that, we're going to go ahead and exit at this time, and we'll see you guys in about 7 minutes.
To those who know us well, I hold the same role with the Moses Weitzman Health System, which is the parent company now of both Community Health Center, Inc. and the family of affiliates that CHC developed over the years as we, like so many of you, strove to find innovative solutions to health and healthcare challenges and problems. And in doing so, sometimes those innovations got taken through to the point of being entirely new organizations. I have the great pleasure of serving as the co-principal investigator for the Community Health Center's NTAP on clinical workforce development, along with the amazing, as those of you who've been on them know, the amazing Amanda Shizzle, Megan Angers, and Bianca Flowers, who do a tremendous job. We've had this initiative since 2017, but it's one that's brought us together with so many of you in learning collaboratives and workshops, national webinars, and we've even had the pleasure of speaking at some of your local workshops and conferences. I think Amanda and Megan just got back and went out on the West Coast joining you all. So today, it gives me great pleasure and really is quite thrilling to welcome you to the 2023 Virtual Biennial Workforce Summit, a initiative, as you might imagine, that you can only do biennially because it takes so much to put it together. And we are so excited for the conversations that are going to occur on coaching culture, on workforce wellness, and pathways and partnerships over the next 2 days. I want to thank our incredible colleagues at NAC and ACU for your continued partnership and commitment, dare I say, friendship, comradeship, for bringing us together to have these really important conversations. And of course, a big thanks to our colleagues at HRSA that really helped make all of this possible. I started my career in health centers as a National Health Service Corps scholar, like many of you around the country, and a newly minted family nurse practitioner more than 40 years ago. So I've had a front row seat at the ever-evolving workforce landscape and the recurring workforce challenges and some new work challenges that we never anticipated, like the COVID pandemic, throughout the years. I think the conversations that we're going to have over the next 2 days are just crucial. Our long-term success at tackling workforce challenges relies on a collaborative effort across all people. And certainly each of your health centers, I think, is deeply involved in this work. And the health center, along with Moses Weitzman Health System and the Weitzman Institute, is really committed to training the next generation as a foundational pillar of the organization at all levels, across all disciplines, almost 200 students and trainees at any given time. Some of you know us for our work in launching the country's first postgraduate nurse practitioner residency program at CHC in 2007. That was soon followed by a postdoctoral psychology residency program, later by the creation of our National School for Medical Assistants, NEMA, which we partner with so many health centers around the country for. And we are so far from alone in training the next generation. We are really part of a movement with all of you. I'm eagerly awaiting the 2022 UDS data to be published, but if you look at the 2021 UDS data, 82% of health centers were providing hands-on clinical experiences. 20% of the programs they were engaged in were directly sponsored by the FQHC. 15,000 clinical staff we're engaged as preceptors. And this training is across the board. It's everybody on the team. It's our primary care providers, it's our behavioral health providers, our dental providers, some of the newer perhaps members of the team, the chiropractors, also our ophthalmology and optometry fellows. All of these are so important to our workforce training efforts and our workforce retention efforts. I think collectively the health center movement is doing a phenomenal job in this area of clinical workforce development for the up and coming workforce, but also in attracting and retaining and reinvigorating today's clinical workforce and health centers. We've had the opportunity through the Weitzman Institute to do some pretty extensive research, training, and publications with the goal of continuing to inspire primary care innovation. And I know you're going to hear about innovation from many speakers over the next 2 days. I'm excited that you're going to hear from our Chief Nursing Officer, Dr. Mary Blankson, speaking about her experience in coaching and mentoring her staff on their leadership journey, as well as the program director of the Nurse Practitioner Residency Program, Charisse Corsino, who also is a regular guest on the NTAP webinars and learning collaboratives. He'll be sharing expertise on pathways and partnership in this work. So thank you for taking the time to join us over the next 2 days. Thanks for being a capacity crowd. We look forward to our continued work with you as we head into the future. And as always, thanks for being here and onwards. Back to you, Amanda.
Thank you so much, Margaret. And I know we'll be transitioning Gerard over to our keynote today.